Hey everyone, so we fell 5 out short of winning the World Series in 97, so we're back with the Astros for 1998. We're going to cover our retooling effort, get this team back to the World Series. We'll go through awards, personnel, drafts, Hall of Famers, and free agents. Let's start with our owner. He's making it clear he wants another championship. I'm working on it. Barry Bonds' 6 MVP awards still isn't good enough. He wants 2 MVP award winners on this team. He also wants me to re-sign John Wetland. After what just happened in the World Series, I'm not sure I could handle that. Danny Tartabull wins his 10th Gold Glove. That's his 3rd at shortstop to go along with 7 at third base. Our former Ranger Steve Avery won his 2nd straight, and a key member of our 96 World Series team, Darryl Sherman, won the 2nd of his career. Ray Sanchez won his 5th career Gold Glove at shortstop. No Astros won a Gold Glove for the 3rd straight year. J.T. Brewitt was the last to win one as an Astro. That was in '94. Former Astro Ken Griffey Jr. won his 1st Gold Glove award this year. Heath Haynes wins Fireman of the Year in the AL, breaking a 2-year run by Mariano Rivera, and he definitely earned it. But the game's best closer is Mark Wohlers. 40 saves, 84 strikeouts, a tiny 1.46 ERA. That'll get it done. This is his 4th straight win. It was unanimous. Steve Sadecki finished 4th. John Wetland finished 7th for the Astros. Jeff Kent won his 6th straight Silver Slugger Award at second base for the Indians. It'll be interesting to see where free agency takes him. The Astros have 2 Silver Sluggers this year. Alex Rodriguez wins his 1st at shortstop, and Barry Bonds wins his 12th in left field. Former Astro Tommy Green also won his 2nd straight. Jeff Jenkins is the AL Rookie of the Year. This award plus a World Series ring say he's off to a good start. Angels teammate and playoff sensation Oscar Rivera spoiled the unanimous vote. J.D. Drew wins the NL Rookie of the Year unanimously ahead of Rockies teammate Miguel Tejada. Yes, it was Coors inflated, but hard to argue with 30 homers. Astros rookie Doug Malicki and Carlos Belliard also got a few votes. I wonder who gave those. Pedro Martinez takes the AL Cy Young Award for the 3rd time in 4 seasons with a unanimous vote. A lot of those this season. No argument here. 23-7, 301 strikeouts, a 170 ERA plus. And to think I was in the running to sign him in free agency last winter. What could have been? Teammate Randy Johnson finished his 2nd, and former Astro Brett Saberhagen, World Series Game 7 winner, also finished 5th. Chris Nabholz finally wins the Cy Young after a few top 3 finishes. His 96 season was actually better than 97, but this is all made possible when Pedro Martinez moves to the other league. A few former Astros finished in the top 5. Mike Schooler was 2nd, and Jason Schmidt was 4th. Free agent to be Shane Reynolds finished 12th. Finally, a close race for an award. Frank Thomas squeaks by Jeff Kent to win the American League MVP award. Controversial, given the White Sox didn't make the playoffs. John Olerud finished 19th for the Rangers. Now we find out if Barry Bonds wins his 7th MVP. Chipper Jones ran riot in September. We've already seen one non-playoff Chicago baseball team bring home an MVP award. But Bonds prevails and leaves no doubt. I did not expect it to be unanimous, but he put up 9.7 WAR, 2nd best figure behind his 11.6 in '87 when he won the Decca Crown. Now he's 33. Gotta wonder how many more seasons like this are left. But when you're extremely popular and you have a great work ethic like Barry Bonds, anything is possible. And yes, that sounded weird to me too. 3 players were inducted to the Hall of Fame this season. George Brett, Larry Christensen, and Raleigh Fingers. Let's take a look at their careers. George Brett's career looks fairly similar to real life, but better actually. The Safe started during his peak, finished their career with 20 seasons with the Royals, helping them win the 1989 World Series. He also stayed productive far longer than in real life, won the AL MVP at age 35, made his 11th and final All-Star appearance at age 36, accumulated an extra 10 WAR compared to real life. Congratulations to this first ballot Hall of Famer. Larry Christensen had a good real-life career, just ended too quickly in 1983 due to injury. But in this world, those injury problems conveniently disappeared and showed what could have been for him. Christensen developed incredible control and movement. He was unhittable for years, collecting 3 Cy Young Awards and 7 All-Star appearances, while leading the Phillies to 6 straight NL East titles. As the Padres GM during the 80s, we faced off with him in playoff series in the 1984, 85, and 87 NLCS. Finished up with 79 career WAR, earns induction on the first try. Well done, Mr. Christensen. Raleigh Fingers was also inducted. Most of his career unfolded before this save began. 1982 is reminiscent of real life, and he made the All-Star team. Remained tied for the all-time lead in saves with Goose Gossage until 1996 when Tim Scott passed them both. Congrats to Raleigh Fingers as well. Here's the full voting results. Former San Diego Padre Robin Yount got 20% of the vote in his first ballot. We had Bruce Sutter for a hot minute in Texas. He manages to stay on the ballot with 8%. Former Ranger and Astro Bob Nepper gets 2% and falls off the ballot after 3 years. Few notable retirements from my teams in the 80s. Ty Van Berkelio hangs him up after 10 years of service. Got him from the Brewers in 1984. Earned a World Series ring for his service that season, but he never lived up to his lofty potential my scout saw in him. Dealt him to Texas in 1986. Ended up reuniting with him in 1998 when I took the Rangers job, and then I traded him again. So it's probably safe to say he doesn't like me too much. But 18 WAR is nothing to sneeze at. Enjoy your retirement, Ty. Ivan Calderon is a lefty killer off the bench for my Padres teams in the mid-1980s. The fact that he covered third base, right field, and left field was pretty invaluable as well. Left San Diego in free agency 1 season after I left. Got a nice deal to be a regular with the Minnesota Twins, and then finished up with the Pirates. 20 career WAR, and a round of applause for you, Mr. Calderon. Let's talk personnel. We had an opening at assistant GM, and my house rule where they have to approve of trades makes this an important decision. I want someone with high trade aggressiveness and low player loyalty. John Jones is the perfect match for both of those. Trading preferences of rookies would have been nice too, but you can't have everything. Our manager still retains control over first base coach hiring, and he did okay here. Ken Berry's relationships and in-game running are only average, but is outstanding with the outfield defense, which will be helpful. This leaves us without anyone great to coach base running, but our coaching cohesion is pretty good. A lot of minor league restructuring took place after the 1997 season, I'm assuming because of the expansion teams. Out of the Park released all major league personnel, which was both a bummer and an opportunity. Just something to watch out for if you play a save in this era. This restructuring left all our subscriber coaches unemployed too, but it also meant there were a lot of job openings. Unfortunately, our heroes from 97 will have to sit out a season, but 2 other subscribers are getting opportunities in 1998. Key was hired as the hitting coach for the Savannah Sand Gnats in the Sally League. Will Catan was also hired as a hitting coach. He'll be helping out the rookie-level Braves of the Gulf Coast League. Both coaches got 2-year contracts, and we'll be keeping an eye on your progress in future videos. Tim Bogar has officially been released, and good riddance. I was able to cover his 1998 salary and my 97 budget, so I've got an extra $1 million to spend this offseason, but it almost didn't happen. Turned out I was $19,000 short of covering, so I had to make a trade the day after the World Series to get some more cash. And it turns out we may have made a spectacular trade. The cash was the primary objective. Jason Flack was the main player I gave up. My scout messed up on him, to be honest. Thought he was nothing. He actually looks like a major league ready arm. We also gave up Steve Soderstrom, who we won't miss. But what we got was a potential plus first baseman. The Cubs scout missed on this, and they barely even used him in rookie ball. Even if we're wrong, it's nice to be rid of Bogar, but if we're right, jackpot. We had 7 players eligible for arbitration. Only Shane Reynolds got compensation attached, so I'll lose Stan Belinda and John Wetland for nothing. Toby Borland, Ray Durham, and Bobby Higginson were easy decisions to negotiate 1-year contract extensions. Extensions are much better than arbitration because the morale and the fan interest impact. But after further thought, we gave Esteban Beltre a 1-year contract as well. He's got good speed and he's a defensive specialist. Plus, I don't have another major league ready shortstop in my system. I decided to let Don Strange, Ron Way, and Orlando Palmeiro go. We always look for trades first. As a general rule of thumb, I toss the middling relievers like this back. They're easy to find. Way and Palmeiro can't be dealt because I acquired them through waivers, but Don Strange could. And we found a deal, again with the Cubs. Don Strange will pitch a middle relief for them. His peripherals tanked this past season. He's given me solid results over the years with the Rangers and Astros. Thank you for your service, Don Strange. We also moved 26-year-old prospect Scott Richardson. Yes, that's kind of an oxymoron. He's Rule 5 eligible anyway. And 27-year-old Nick Delvecchio. I feel like we got 2 intriguing players back, though. Chris Richard isn't going to play much defense, but that's a pretty good-looking bat that could back up the first base and corner outfield spots. Still just 23 years old. And another Chris, Wakeland this time. Very similar profile. After years of our system being thin in the corner outfield, Got a couple of cheap young options to turn to. We were going to lose Strange anyway, so this turned into a decent prospect upgrade for us. The Astros picked 25th in this year's draft. The Marlins have 2 picks in the top 10. We also have 3 picks in the supplemental first round and 2 picks in the second round. And it's a strong draft, especially with position players. The Blue Jays have the first pick of the bunch, and we'll look to Rafael Furcal to turn their franchise around. Furcal was taken 5th by the Marlins last year, didn't sign. Looks like that was a good decision for him. Doesn't look like the Blue Jays are going to mess around with the minors either. The Rockies take Troy Gloss at number 2, and my lord, he could hit a million home runs in Coors. Giants take Aaron Cook, whose potential ratings look a lot like the recently inducted Hall of Famer Larry Christensen. And if he sounds familiar in this save, he is. We drafted him in the second round last year, then our scout downgraded him to a 40 potential, so we didn't sign him. Whoops. Here's a quick recap of the first 24 picks. Many other big names off the board, including Pat Burrell, Adam Dunn, Aubrey Huff, CC Sabathia, Matt Holliday, Juan Pierre, Aaron Rowand. The Astros pick number 25 and choose Esteban Herman. Kind of a strange name to see here after such an uneventful real-life career, but we need another greedy, poor-fielding second baseman in a few years after Ray Durham leaves. He's got a lot of developing to do, so he'll start A-ball with Quad Cities, but it's a lot of potential. The first ever member of the Arizona Diamondbacks organization is David Ross, who was selected 31st overall. And Francisco Mendez has the honor of being the first ever member of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays organization. We picked up a completely unfamiliar name at number 47 overall. Martin Guzman is the highest overall rated player in this draft, but can we trust these scouting reports? He looked like a nobody until all of a sudden both my scout and OSA upgraded him to all-world right before the draft. He appears to be a pretty advanced hitter, so we're going to start him in Double-A Jackson. And now for the fun pick at number 61 overall. For those unfamiliar, think of Rick Ankiel as the poor man's Shohei Ohtani. In real life, he didn't actually pitch and hit at the same time, but it looks like he could in this save. As a hitter, he looks like a second division starter, steady bat with some pop and good defense, including helping out in center field. And as a pitcher, he's probably a back end of the rotation type, putting up a lot of strikeouts, but walks and home runs allowed as well. But if he's both those things, that could be pretty useful. I'm going to start him in A-ball alongside Herman. It's tricky because he's a very raw hitter, but an advanced pitcher, so which one needs to be developed at what level? Here's our overall draft class. We ended up signing everyone this year. Some familiar names include Ryan Langerhans, Ryan Vogelsong, Andrew Good, Tim Redding. Definitely stocked up our system with catchers, first baseman, and starting pitchers. We really don't have any viable shortstop or third baseman in our system still. We need to keep an eye on that. Let's move to the expansion draft. We had the ability to protect 18 players with 3 or more years of professional service. There were some tough decisions. Non-obvious keepers were Brian Holman, was only 1 year in his contract and will miss half the season. I also protected Gregory Boyd, the first baseman I just got from the Cubs, who's never played above rookie ball. So that means Edgar Martinez is left unprotected. He's a captain, a good offensive player, but 34 years old, last year of his contract, and I have other first base options available. I wouldn't totally hate freeing up some money for another free agent. Rich Garces is also unprotected, similar to the Don Strange decision. You can always find good middle relievers. Jerome Walton is left unprotected too. This is the toughest one because he's a great fourth outfielder with a low salary. He's also 32 now though, and this is his contract year, so he's on the outside looking in. The Devil Rays got the first choice in the draft and selected Doug Mirabelli from the Brewers. Edgar Martinez was selected by the Diamondbacks. We send our thanks and appreciation to the 1996 World Series MVP. Thank you much, Edgar. Devil Rays later selected Jerome Walton. After a shaky start with us in 1995, he put up a really good season in 1996 and his career best 3.1 WAR in 1997. Thank you for your service, Jerome. Chad Townsend was also taken by the Devil Rays, so what could have been here. He had 60 homers between AAA and the big leagues in 1995, then had a spectacular first half of 1996, fell off significantly in the second half of that season, still got us the NLCS MVP from that series. In 1997, the wheels just kind of came off for him. Hopefully he finds the magic from 1995 and 1996 in Tampa Bay. Thank you for your service, sir. But he may have competition at first base. The Devil Rays also selected Chardal Andreana from the Padres. Devil Rays definitely focus on position players. They're going to field a halfway decent lineup, while their pitching staff looks like it could be truly awful. Diamondbacks focus more on starting pitching, nabbing established arms. While they also picked up a few other interesting players, this team also looks to be pretty bad. There wasn't anyone super exciting available in the Rule 5 draft this year, as it should be. No Astros were taken for once. A lot of guys were taken in the expansion draft and then DFA'd for whatever reason. We made one selection, Rafael Betancourt from the Rockies. He's really far away from contributing. He probably won't make the team, but I said the same thing about Carlos Belliard last season. And next, to make my starting pitching situation worse, Brian Holman's timeline for recovery is pushed back. He's out till September now. But then we caught a break. Minnesota Twins were willing to part with starting pitcher Juan Castillo with Holman as one of the trade chips. Castillo got a cup of tea with the Mets in real life, and that's all. Here, he's quietly been a productive starter for the Twins since 1990. He's racked up 29 WAR over his 8 seasons in the big leagues. Ground ball profile isn't great for us, but the strikeouts should reduce the impact of our poor defense. He punched out 238 batters last season. It's the last year of Castillo's contract, so he's a rental. But so was Holman. His Astros career concludes with 5 1/3 spectacular innings, even odds whether he ever even throws a pitch for the Twins. The Twins also acquire quarterback Matt Ryan, a functional but uninspiring middle reliever in this world. Reynald Mendoza is the final and probably best piece they picked up. Didn't really get a chance with our club, but looks to be a decent back-of-the-rotation arm. He has virtually no major league service time either. So we have 3 starters I'm confident in, and then a bunch of middling pieces after that. Starting pitcher is definitely a priority target in free agency. We could do worse, letting Sadecki take on the stopper role, but a top-flight closer in free agency could make some sense as well. Unfortunately, there's only 2 high-caliber starting pitchers out there. Astros' Shane Reynolds is one of them. The other is Donnie Elliott of the Red Sox. There's plenty of closers, though. Mariano Rivera is certainly the best. I think his asking price is the most reasonable of the bunch as well. Certainly keep an eye on Harvey, Wetland, and Hoffman, though. Our position player core is weaker without Edgar Martinez and Jerome Walton. Bill Miller could fill Edgar's shoes at first base, but we don't have a backup center fielder. That isn't the role I want Carlos Beltran playing, so we need to trade for someone or find someone in free agency. Walton also platooned in right field with Bobby Higginson, so I'd prefer a right-handed bat that can play both center and right. Other than that, it's the same crew that led the National League in runs scored, so not too concerned here. Some big bats available, including 2-time MVP Jeff Kent. There's plenty of first basemen as well. Mo Vaughn, John Olerud, Matt Stairs look like they could be fits for the right price. But it's got to be good because we need some pitching help and our money should go there. So that's the free agent situation that's about to unfold. If you like this content, please give me a thumbs up and help others find the video. If you saw someone you think I should sign or something else you think I should do, leave a comment. Otherwise, see you for opening day.